I woke up to a pounding on my front door at 7 in the morning, and when I opened it, the HOA president was standing there telling me my father's 1969 Mustang had been reported stolen and was about to be impounded. She thought she had me cornered, thought she was about to humiliate me in front of the whole neighborhood. What she didn't know was that I wasn't just another homeowner, I was the police chief, and she had just turned a bylaw, spat into a criminal war she couldn't win. My name's Mike Carter. After 30 years of city noise and politics, my wife Lisa and I came here for peace. A 2-car garage, a small yard, the kind of suburban quiet you can almost taste. I kept my badge out of the welcome emails. I just wanted to be the guy mowing his lawn on Saturdays. What mattered most to me was my father's car. A candy apple red 1969 Ford Mustang Boss 429 tucked under a gray cover in my garage. It wasn't just metal. It was the last piece of my dad I had left the car he bought new and polished every Sunday until the chrome looked like a mirror. To me, it was a memory. To Susan Palmer, our HOA president, it was a violation. Susan was the type who carried a clipboard like a sword. Her son Ethan, a kid who never lifted more than a video game controller, trailed behind her like a shadow. At the neighborhood barbecue, she cornered me near the potato salad, looked me up and down, then nodded at the Mustang in my garage. Mr. Carter, that vehicle has been stationary for 3 weeks. Section 8, paragraph 3, subsection C. Her son broke in practically drooling. That's a Boss 429, right? You ever think about selling it? I smiled politely. It's a project car, Susan. Not for sale. She cut him off with one hand. 7 days, or the association will handle it. She said it sweet as bleach. 7 days later, the harassment began. Fake late fees with misspelled signatures. Notices slapped under my wipers, then taped to my door. One neighbor, an old widow named Mrs. Alvarez, even got a lien threat for $25. It was all designed to intimidate. Then came chalk outlines drawn around my Mustang in the driveway, bright pink arrows pointing like evidence markers as if the car itself were a crime scene. Petty, childish, and deliberate. Lisa, my wife. She's the brains. Where I see problems, she sees patterns. While she scanned notices and found QR codes linking to fake payment sites, I tried to shrug it off. But the morning Susan called the cops was different. She showed up smug, clipboard in hand, and told me the car was being impounded, that she had a friend at the DMV and had reported it stolen. Ethan grinned behind her like Christmas came early, and right on cue, patrol cars screeched to a stop at my curb. Officers stepped out, hands on weapons, ready to investigate a stolen Mustang. For a second, my blood ran cold, not from fear, but at the audacity. I moved slowly, pulled my wallet. I could see the rookie's hand twitch toward his gun. Then I flipped my badge open. Gold shield gleaming in the morning sun. "Sergeant Davis," I said evenly, "I think there's been a misunderstanding." The sergeant's eyes went wide. "Chief Carter," he stammered. The rookie nearly swallowed his tongue. Susan's smirk slid right off her face, replaced by dawning horror. "I told Davis loud enough for everyone to hear. Looks like Mrs. Palmer here made a false police report. Misuse of 911, pulling units off real emergencies." I stared at her, and she knew she'd kicked a hornet's nest. That should have been the end. But bullies don't back down, they double down. Next came fake tickets, drone surveillance buzzing outside our windows, petty violations stacked like paper cuts. And, for the first time, I questioned myself. Maybe I was the problem. Maybe keeping my dad's car here wasn't worth the trouble. I looked at Lisa one night and said, maybe I should just sell it. Let it go. The doubt stung more than the tickets. That car was my father, my history. And now I was considering giving it away because of a woman with a clipboard. Lisa put her hand on mine. "No, Mike, this isn't about a car, it's about control, and once you let her take it, she'll never stop." She was right. That was the night my hesitation turned into resolve. Then it got serious. My neighbor Tom Walker, a handyman, knocked on my door one morning, pale as a ghost. His old Ford pickup, rusted but full of tools, had vanished. He'd gotten an HOA notice the week before for a quarter-sized oil stain on the pavement. He thought it was a bluff. Now his livelihood was gone. I made quiet calls, no impound record, no towing company logs. Just gone. Lisa dug deeper. She cross-referenced HOA complaints with police reports. Turns out 10 other residents had lost cars in the past year, all after petty violation notices. The common thread, a towing company called Swift Towing, owned by a shell corporation tied to Redwood Development, the same developer Susan had pushed through for a shiny new subdivision. That's when the petty war turned criminal. These weren't fines. It was a theft ring using HOA bylaws like a crowbar. Davis and I couldn't wait for a warrant. We went off book, slipping into a storage yard at midnight with Lisa guiding us through hacked cameras. Inside, under the sickly yellow light, we found it Tom's truck, stripped down license plates from 5 states on the wall, forged tow authorizations stacked neatly with Susan's elegant signature at the bottom, and a receipt book, weekly cash payments signed by Ben Harris, the HOA treasurer. My stomach sank. We had them, but illegally. Evidence without a warrant is just trivia. I felt crushed. I'd risked my career, and maybe for nothing. For a moment, I almost walked away, thought about just being a neighbor instead of a cop. But then the phone rang. It was Alex Miller, the rookie, who'd nearly cuffed me on my porch. He'd been digging on his own, trying to make it right. He whispered into the phone, "Chief, I think I found something. The new development, Oakwood Cul-de-sac. They're using a model home as a field office. I just saw a Swift towing truck pull in." My blood froze. "Alex, give me your location and get out." Static, then silence. GPS showed his phone wasn't moving. That was the moment my doubt evaporated. One of my men was in trouble, and I wasn't about to let Susan Palmer's little empire swallow him whole. That night, Davis and I crept into the model home. Lisa fed us blueprints and guard locations over comms. Inside, the smell of new paint and cheap carpet mixed with sweat. A thug on the couch went down hard with my mag light. Down the hall, Alex was tied to a chair, bruised, bleeding, a wiry man pacing with a pistol. Davis hurled a vase down the hallway, and when the thug stepped out to investigate, I kicked the door in, slammed him against the wall, gun clattering across the floor. Davis cuffed him. I cut Alex free. "You okay, kid?" I asked. He was shaky, but alive. That kidnapping was our ticket. Now we had legal cause, clean and undeniable. Warrants flew. Forensics matched the HOA's printer toner to fake violation notices. Bank records traced Redwood's community improvement payments siphoned into Ben's slush account and straight into Susan's personal bank. Lisa cracked a computer filled with templates for forged notices. We had everything, but I wanted more. I wanted the neighborhood to see Susan fall. So we set a trap at the annual HOA gala. I accidentally left my garage door cracked, a spare Mustang key dangling just inside. Rumors spread that I was finally giving up and selling. That night, under a storm-soaked tent filled with neighbors and Redwood executives, Susan took the podium in a sparkling dress and announced a special donation. The tent flaps opened, and my father's Mustang rolled in Ethan behind the wheel, grinning like a fool. Gasps echoed. Everyone knew that car was mine. Susan beamed. "Let's thank Ethan Carter for securing this wonderful donation." And then Lisa tapped her phone. Hidden mics inside the Mustang broadcast, Susan's own voice dripping through the speakers. "The key is on the hook. Drive it straight to the gala. We'll file it as a donation tomorrow." Silence. Her smile cracked panic spreading like wildfire. Ethan muttered on the feed. "Stupid old cop thinks he's so smart. This car is mine now." The crowd erupted. Susan screamed. It was fake doctored, but her words were already carved into the room. Ethan panicked, slammed the gas. The Mustang roared, forward tires spinning on wet vinyl, fishtailing toward the podium. I vaulted a table, yanked the driver's door open, and dragged him out by the collar. The car lurched, then stalled inches from Susan's stage. Officers poured in. Sergeant Davis stepped up, voice booming. "Susan Palmer, you're under arrest for conspiracy, fraud, and grand theft auto." Her composure shattered as the cuffs clicked. Ben Harris went pale, spilling everything the moment they showed him evidence. Redwood's execs tried to slink away, but they were caught too. That was it. The queen of the cul-de-sac, the self-anointed ruler with her clipboard, led away in handcuffs under the very tent where she thought she'd crown herself. My father's Mustang sat idling, safe the star witness. Some people mistake power for ownership. They think rules are weapons. But if you stand your ground and fight back, you remind them power only lasts until the truth shows up.